The city's south side was shut down yesterday because of a bomb scare. Good evening and thanks for joining us. A part of a street on the city's south side was shut down yesterday because of a bomb scare. Police responded to the call on Frederica Street around 9:30 at night. A resident called police to say an unknown person threw an object at their house, breaking a window. They reported the object appeared to be smoldering. Officers blocked off the area on Frederica Street. An explosive disposal unit from the Ontario Provincial Police was brought in to help handle the matter. They determined that the device was explosive in nature and it wasn't intended to cause a fire. The investigation is ongoing. More information will be released as it becomes available. Anyone with information is asked to contact Thunder Bay Police or Crime Stoppers. Well, Halloween has come and passed, but costumes were still put on today as local superheroes rallied together. A local chapter played their part in a national protest against pipelines, reckless tar sand expansion, and runway climate change. Over 50 people showed up to support the rally held by the Citizens United for a Sustainable Planet. Quite a few people donned their capes and masks, dressed to defeat their makeshift pipeline. More than 115 communities nationwide held the Defend Our Climate, Defend Our Community National Day of Action in hopes that their massive Canadian stand will be noticed. Organizer Natalie Garam says the goal is to change the direction for Canadians.
Hope is that the Canadian government wakes up and recognizes that their path of putting us on a carbon economy is going to turn us into fossil fuels, that's not what Canadians are looking for. And so we want to send a really strong message to the Harper Conservatives as well as governments across the country to say this is not the direction Canadians want to move in. We want a green economy, we want a clean economy, and we want a future we can be proud of.
Some important topics are coming up in the next few months. The Superhero Squad hopes that this is timely enough to make an impact. Well, work is finally completed on a culvert by Winnipeg Avenue. The addition is said to make cycling safer for residents of Thunder Bay. Cyclist Ken Shield petitioned around Thunder Bay for a while, looking for support from his cycling patrons, and he got it. By Friday afternoon, the culvert was built and already in use. Without the culvert, people had to bike down busy Memorial Avenue at peak rush hour times just to get home. Now with this new and safe culvert, Shields is thinking more needs to be done in the city. He looks to have the backing of other people to do so.
I'm absolutely delighted. I was going to invite people to come and join this little news conference, and just random people have come and said that this is a great way to get across town. It's a perfect thing for bikers to get away from the sidewalks and busy Memorial Avenue.
Shields wants 2 more culverts along with a new set of lights to make crossing the 5-lane Center Avenue safer for cyclists. The Northern Ontario Heritage Fund and its chair, Michael Gravel, were on a spending spree this past week. Gravel announced $1 million in funding for a new daycare in Thunder Bay and $1.2 million for other projects in Greenstone. A new 30-seat restaurant in Scriber received some startup cash as well. The province will invest $125,000 to help get PJ's Cafe up and running. The Heritage Fund was also supporting businesses in Marathon.
Supporting a fish and tackle retail shop called Cast to You. We're supporting that with $25,000 in support for them to keep going, and a really interesting other business called School of Rock, which we're supporting with them being able to buy some equipment, some musical equipment, so they can continue to do their business. So that's great.
A project that was put on hold earlier in the year will also get back on track with help from the Heritage Fund. The town of Terrace Bay will use a $50,000 contribution to hire a consultant to complete a waterfront development study. Improvements could include additional docking for boats and a boardwalk, making the area a little more exciting for touring public and residents. Ontario Premier Kathleen Wynne wants to reform the Canadian pension plan. She says a huge financial crisis may happen if action isn't taken now to create an Ontario pension plan. For our question of the day, we wanted to know if you support the move.
It's always nice to have money, and later on in life, like, people are working longer into their retirement, and I mean, I for one know that when I get older, I'd like to enjoy my life. So I mean, if she can get us more money later on in life, I mean, it's a bonus for everyone, right?
I mean, yeah, for us, because we live in Ontario, but what about all the other provinces, right? I mean, it should be equal all across. I mean, that's not our job. That's supposed to be the government. And if they're not doing their jobs, then, you know, what can we really say about it? You know, nothing.
More pension plan personally, the better. I work as a freelancer, and there isn't a whole lot going into my personal savings, so having some support provincially, nationally, anything I can get, really.
People work hard for their money, and then when they're not working anymore, I mean, they're used to what they were making before, so it's good to have what they are used to.
The cry for help from the typhoon-ravaged Philippines got a whole lot louder today. The UN tripled its estimate of the number of homeless to just short of 2 million, with at least a further 4,800 people dead or missing. The scope of the tragedy is immense. Canadians are pitching in on the front line and here at home. Artie Pohl has the latest.
9 days after wind and waves swept across the Philippines, aid efforts are now gathering pace. With so many desperate for medical assistance, more help has arrived.
We sent a mobile medical team to one of these evacuation centers in Pilar. They were able to see about 60 patients.
Many are now living in crowded evacuation centers with 6 to 8 families in one room. DART is equipped with water purification systems. The UN says more than 100,000 people have received food assistance so far, but closed roads mean for some the only way to get supplies is by air.
We're still not receiving it. It's really difficult to receive relief.
Here in Canada, fundraising efforts are getting a kickstart. Here they're offering Muay Thai training sessions by donation. The goal is to raise $12,000. Jeff Bermejo was born in Tacloban. He still hasn't heard from dozens of relatives, but wants typhoon survivors to keep up the fight.
Tindog Tacloban, which is in English, it means get up Tacloban. So that would be my main message is, get up, and stay strong.
Nationally, the humanitarian coalition, which includes 5 relief organizations, has raised $2.3 million. 6 days after the earthquake in Haiti, the total was $1 million more.
I think the disaster is not quite on the same scale as Haiti, and we can see a difference in terms of the fundraising results.
Another factor, he says, is media coverage.
We must compete with other headlines, whether that's Rob Ford today or some other controversy at another time.
Organizers hope this fundraiser will keep the story top of mind and will help those suffering remain strong in spirit.
Just be patient, because there's people like myself all over the world trying to help you guys, and pray and believe, and we will be all right.
Tomorrow, the Canadian military will boost its support to the Philippines by deploying 3 Griffin helicopters to the disaster area. Artie Pohl, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, a new recycling program was launched in Vancouver this week, the first of its kind in the world. It's an innovative solution to a toxic hazard that litters many streets. Richard Zussman has the details.
It's the biggest litter problem in the city. Now Vancouver's hoping a pilot project will dispose of all those dirty cigarette butts.
I cannot tell you how many times I hear from people about the problem of litter on our streets, and most especially cigarette butts.
These butt bins are now in 110 spots across the downtown core. The project's price tag just $1 per bin for taxpayers. TerraCycle's picking up most of the costs. The U.S.-based company is known for recycling hard-to-dispose items like chewing gum and diapers.
Cigarette butts have never been recycled on a wide scale before, and so there was a lot of testing to make sure that we could take out the toxicity, the carcinogens, the biocontaminants.
The waste will be turned into industrial plastics and resold for profit. Once smokers fill the bins with their discarded cigarettes, workers from the downtown East Side's United We Can will pick them up.
We'll be paying people on an hourly rate, and then United We Can will be collecting based on a per kilogram rate.
These bins won't solve all the problems. The city is still using the same technique they always have to pick up these butts. It's not part of this new pilot program. It was before, though. In June, the city introduced a previous pilot project, paying people 1 cent per cigarette butt picked up and traded in, but that was phased out. It wasn't cost effective. Still, there are some concerns about the new system, worries that the bins could catch fire, but TerraCycle says the bins are fireproof. It's already aiming to expand the program.
We would love to do this in New York and Chicago and London and Tokyo and the world's biggest cities, but we also need buy-in from the city, from the mayors themselves.
Vancouver's the first to buy in. Last summer, the litter problem got so bad, the West End Business Association picked up 20,000 cigarette butts itself. Now the hope is those butts end up in these bins. Richard Zussman, CBC News, Vancouver.
And back here at home, Thunder Bay residents, young and old, both naughty and nice, gathered today to show their festive pride for the 23rd annual Rotary Club Christmas Parade. This year's route went in a different direction than normal, from the Superstore to the community auditorium. Without a drop of snow on the ground, everyone still managed to get in the spirit of Christmas. The parade had over 40 floats with countless volunteers. The streets were lined with children and parents alike, watching Santa along with his team of elves and reindeer in what was said to be one of the most enjoyable parades to date. Even though Christmas is still a fair distance away, Santa Claus still had a message for boys and girls.
No, the children, I'd like to say, to get into bed early and wait for Christmas and hope they get everything they want.
The parade draws in a usual crowd of 20,000 spectators. Next year, they hope to add attractions to keep people staying longer after the parade wraps up. Gotta tell you, Santa Claus Parade was one of my favorite things to do as a kid.
Always, yeah. Unfortunately, didn't make it there this morning, but looks like it was a blast.
It did, definitely.
Many local sports on the agenda coming up after the break.
Lots of sports here in the city today, a little bit of football.
Yeah, football season wrapping up locally. Yeah, it's been another good season.
Yeah.
Not too much else to say.
No.
Let's get to it. Let's go. Yeah, earlier this week, the Westgate Tigers and Churchill Trojans senior football teams must have thought they'd be playing in some pretty chilly weather today, but Mother Nature cooperated and gave the two teams perfect football conditions. The city championship was on the line, but so was a berth in an OFSA bowl game on November 28th in Toronto. Let's see it. The mascots having some fun during this one. They challenged each other on a couple of different occasions, but for the most part, it remained playful. To the game, first quarter, Cody Sheedy takes the handoff. There's a huge hole to run through. Gets to the outside, and he's got 39 yards for the touchdown. Tigers strike first at 7-0. Then a crazy string of plays. First, Churchill pivot. Justin Fooey hits Julian Schultz. Schultz trying to pick up some extra yards, but he fumbles on the play. And then this, a mad scramble. Bodies flying everywhere. Westgate ends up with the pigskin, but a block in the back penalty on the Tigers lets the Trojans retain possession. On the next play from scrimmage, Fooey looking down the field, but he's picked off by Ryan Nason, so Westgate gets the football anyways, just a play later. Again, on the very next play, Caleb White takes the big hit, and he loses the football. Churchill recovers, just a wild sequence to end the quarter. Second quarter, now 7-1. Fooey gets the Tigers to jump offside, so he takes a shot to the end zone, finds a wide open Mitchell Spence, who hauls in the touchdown pass. That caps a 9-play, 69-yard drive. Makes it 8-7 Churchill at the half. Third quarter, White looking to atone for his earlier fumble. Running well, picks up 19 yards, scooting all over the place, and then after Westgate converted a third and short inside the 5-yard line, Sheedy takes the handoff, loses the football, but thankful for him, recovers it in the end zone. Tigers went 87 yards on 15 plays and ate up 9 minutes of clock to start the second half. They also added a 2-point convert, makes it 15-8. Move to the fourth, now 15-11. White again busting off another huge gain. This time it's 27 yards. He had 155 yards on the ground on the day, and then on the same drive, he punches it in from 6 yards out for the major, gives Westgate a 22-11 lead. Churchill tried to mount a late comeback, but the Tiger D bent, but didn't break. Josh Whitehurst picked off Fooey not once in the final minutes, but twice as the Westgate Tigers win the city championship 22-13, the final.
We had players on this team that lost to the Trojans in our last championship bid, and revenge was on their mind. Those fifth-year guys came out fired up. They were, you could see it. They really wanted it today, and those fifth-year guys carried us.
We don't just have one player, you know. We have a whole team. Team works together. Everybody does their jobs. That's how we play. That's how we win.
It feels great. It was great. 3 years ago, we lost to Churchill in the juniors. I was waiting for my revenge, waiting for this game again, waiting to change the outcome, and it just feels amazing. Going down to OFSA, I've never been to Toronto. This is the best way to go down to Toronto for the first time. Go down with my brothers, my family, and play some hard-nosed Tiger football.
There you go. Congratulations to the Tigers. Some other high school scores to pass your way in Nawasa's senior boys volleyball action. Sandy Nacious won the first match on Friday with Dryden, went on to win the next two to win the best-of-3 series. Dryden advances to OFSA with Churchill, and that tournament will be played here in Thunder Bay next weekend. Meanwhile, Hammarskjold dominated Fort Francis in senior girls Nawasa action. The Vikings are off to OFSA in Windsor. To the Lakehead University scene, the hockey team welcomed Concordia to the Gardens for the first time last night. Ryan Bonazzo was there. He's got the highlights.
The Lakehead Thunderwolves and their top-scoring OUA offense hoping to assert themselves against struggling Concordia. Jeff Bosch in the LU lineup for the first time this season. He'll back up freshman Justin McDonald, who makes his 9th straight start. Less than 4 minutes in, though, the Stingers strike first off the point glass. There's Kieran O'Neill to pounce on the loose puck. Wolves a bit sluggish to start this game. That wakes them up in a hurry. Not quite 3 minutes later, a streaking Matt Corella drops it off for Paul Thompson. Antoine Marchand is there to make the first save, but the Wolves swarm. 1, 2, 3 more shots. Finally, Chris Delalonde accomplishes the inevitable. It's his second of the season, and as the home side celebrates, the teddy bears begin raining down out of the crowd. Those will all be donated to local children's charities. 37 bags full of them. Nicely done. How'd you like to be the lucky kid who gets that one? My goodness. And if you thought that was big, how about this go-ahead goal for the Wolves? The Gamache, Wilkins, Alcock line, tick, tack, a toe. That's a sensational feed from Andrew Wilkins to Cody Alcock. 2 goals in 37 seconds for LU. They're up 2-1 after a frame. Sloppy second period for Lakehead. Thankfully, Justin McDonald held the fort. Concordia would tie this game early in the third. Wolves catch a break, though, minutes later when Stingers D-man Gabriel Beret blows a tire. Alcock, smelling blood in the water, kicks it into high gear. Oh, it's pretty. That's a pretty move. His second of the contest puts the Wolves back in front 3-2. But Concordia isn't dead yet. The Alex McDonald shot is redirected past Justin McDonald. Credit the goal to Taylor Lamke. 3-3 is how regulation time ends. OT solves nothing, so in the shootout, Justin McDonald pokes the puck away from Danny Potvin. In fact, the goalies were great. The first 5 shooters all failed to score. Mike Hammond, however, does not. The Silky Assassin ends this game with one of those sweet moves we've grown to know so well. Lakehead wins a thriller 4-3 over Concordia. Ryan Benazzo, TBT Sports.
In LU basketball action last night, the women cruised to a 60-38 win over Algoma and Sault Ste. Marie. Kelsey Bardsley had a game-high 17 points. But in the men's game, the Wolves got stunned 64-54 by the Thunderbirds. Both teams traveled to Sudbury to play Laurentian this evening. With the basketball teams away, the women's volleyball squad was trying to get back on track at the field house. Before they take on RMC tonight, the Lady Wolves faced Queens last evening. Mike Albanese has the recap.
The Lakehead Thunderwolves are looking to snap a 4-game losing spree on the road as they play host to the Queens Golden Gales. The Wolves are perfect at home coming into this game. Into the first set, Gales leading by 3, but they are on the ropes in this exchange, barely surviving until Jory Damon slams the ball down and the Gales can't handle it as it blasts into the crowd. A few serves later, watch the bottom left of your screen. Sarah Reed with a great effort to keep the ball alive, but the Gales would find a way to beat her with a powerful smash, bringing the Gales to 14-11. This set was close, but on the set point, 24-22, the Gales show some great deep court play and then move on to work some shallow blocks as they take the first set in the match. On the first serve of the second set, the T-Wolves looking to bounce back strong. Damon crushes another ball down with authority, taking the first point. The Wolves didn't continue to bounce back, though. They continued to make mistakes as Kelsey Bishop of the Gales gets an ace off a miscommunication, 14-9 the Gales now. Set point again, 24-19 for the Gales. Brittany McLeod up to save the set, but as the story of the game went, a costly mistake ends the set. Into the final set, the score of this one wouldn't tell you the full story because even though it didn't end close, the Wolves put up a fight. They just couldn't find an answer for the Gales offense as a pair of Gales blocks the ball at the net, part of a 7-point run. Match point now, Bishop of the Gales up to serve again, and the volley ends quick with the dagger as the Gales take it 3-0. Coach Chris Green spoke about the preparation gone to waste.
I mean, we spent all week statting, watching video, everything that Queens did. I mean, we knew it was coming. So I've got to figure out how our players can know it's coming, spend all week doing video, and then get on the court and not do anything about it.
Mike Albanese, TBT Sports.
Busy Sunday tomorrow on the Gridiron CFL Division Finals, Hamilton, Toronto, and Calgary, Saskatchewan. So those should be a couple of good ones for sure. Also, don't forget the Sunday nighter, Denver against the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs.
Gorgeous weather today. We'll tell you what's in store for the week after the break. We were just talking about this during the break. There hasn't been any snow yet, really, in Thunder Bay. That is something that could change pretty quickly within the next couple of days. But across,
Lovely.
yeah,
It's okay
lovely.
though. It's
but
okay.
across the country, places like Alberta have been seeing quite a bit of snow. Snow all day there as well. Let's start with the west coast of the country first, though. In Vancouver, we're at 7 degrees with a cloudy sky. Prince George, -7. Edmonton and Calgary, there you go. That's where the snow comes in, both at -11 and -12. Saskatoon and Regina staying in the negatives there, -7, -4. As we hit Winnipeg, we go up into the pluses. 1 degree in Winnipeg. Churchill's at -12 with some more snow. Heading into Ontario, Toronto, nice and warm right now at 8 degrees. Ottawa, Montreal, 7. Quebec City, 3 with a mostly clear sky. In Fredericton, 2 degrees. Charlottetown, 4. Halifax, again, nice and warm at 7 degrees there. St. John's is at 6 right now. Our region, expect to see that snow come in tonight. It's a chance of flurries or a chance of snow, depending on, a chance of flurries or a chance of rain, depending on where you are. Temperatures are going to be above the 0 degree mark for the most part, except for Big Trout Lake there, a little bit cooler. Sault Ste. Marie, 8 degrees for tonight. Heading into tomorrow, expect to see the temperatures, tomorrow, expect to see the temperatures around the same. Sault Ste. Marie will be 14 degrees. We're going to see, again, that snow carry on basically throughout the region, chance of rain as well, depending on where you are. Our city right now, 7 degrees. We hit a high today of 9 degrees, so that's definitely something to celebrate mid-October here. The wind's coming out of the south-southeast, 8 kilometers an hour. Overnight, we're going to go down to a low of 3. We will be seeing some periods of rain that will begin this evening and carry on basically throughout the night. Heading into tomorrow, expect to see a few rain showers. That will change into snow late in the evening. We could have 2 to 4 centimeters of snow overnight for tomorrow. Temperature drops significantly by Monday with a 40% chance of flurries there. Tuesday, partly sunny, right on the freezing mark. By the time we hit Wednesday and Thursday, temperature creeps up again, but we do have about a 30 or 40% chance of flurries or rain for Wednesday and Thursday. So
that's okay.
Winter's, I'm ready for it now.
Yeah, it's coming.
You know?
It's about time.
Yeah.
So hold on, lots of sports to talk about tonight. Don't forget volleyball, local volleyball, as well as the Thunderwolves in Concordia again tonight. George St. Pierre taking on Johnny Hendricks in the UFC. And if you're not watching any of that, then there's also hockey on as well. How about the Buffalo Sabres taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs? That's on CKPR Thunder Bay, so switch over after we're done to catch the start of that game. But lots to do.
Definitely.
There you go.
And that's all the time that we have for tonight. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow.